You got that?
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Toronto Mounties and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Toronto Mounties and the Minnesota Vikings. That's fielded in the end zone. Some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 20. They go play action here on first down. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Well, that's how they envisioned to get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted, was it an audible, or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's into the clear. The 40, 20, 10, and all the way in for the touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Well, there you go. They gave up a score to start the game, and as quick as they could get it back, they did on the return.
And people talk about this all the time, whether you're coaching it, whether you're trying to work on it, whether you're just trying to put in the minds of your players. Attack back as fast as you can after giving up a score. No quicker way than on a kick return.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Looking left sideline, incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Now, they're going to be tough to throw on, no doubt. Currently ranked 3rd in the NFL against the pass.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. First down, Mayfield. He gives this out to Foster on the right side. And down he'll go at the 25. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. Second and 3.
Patriot!
First carry for Nick Chubb. And they're able to get this one across the 35. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 19 carries, 113 yards.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
A first down throw for Mayfield. Throw left side, complete to Foster. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
To throw, Mayfield drops it off for Chubb. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's fourth down.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot. And on that play, they were able to stop him short of a first down.
Here's Mayfield. And this is caught. He hits Landry. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Now they'll run it on the toss. And now running right through him. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Mayfield now on 2nd down. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
That's Foster hauling it in over the middle. And he gets it down to the 32. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
No move to get the offense off the field here. They've converted once on this drive. On 4th, they'll go again and try it once more.
Gone!
4th down, Mayfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. He's at the 40, past the 20. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They'll run with Cook, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
He'll get it up the middle. Spins away. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished.
And that's caught inside the 30. And touchdown. Rashad Perriman, his second touchdown on the season. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And that is how you retaliate after getting scored on one play, big pass downfield, and you hit the end zone.
Almost feels like 2 boxers just throwing haymakers at each other, doesn't it? One connects with a big one, the other comes right back. Okay, I'll show you. And they attacked right back on the first play of the drive and hit them big.
That's fielded in the end zone. And at the 25. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And we check the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
All right, here we go. 319! 319!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
Yeah, he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect it. Seated to my right, Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Toronto football to begin quarter number 2. They take over 1st and 10 in excellent field position here. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. That's caught out left by Perriman. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
This will be their first trip to the red zone. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Now a handoff, Johnson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Gone!
2nd down, Mayfield. Underneath for Johnson. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Duke Johnson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, and his guys are going to take the lead. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Extra point safely through, and the lead is now 21-14. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Back to the ground, this time Cook. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain an... And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. He's got the lead here in the 2nd quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, is that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way. Yeah,
like I said, he's looked pretty good to this point. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. On the tackle that time, it's Trey Waynes.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown! Brashad Perriman, 91 yards. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, pump the ball away. But no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game. Probably something they need to do more of here losing in the 2nd quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Alex Anzalone in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded at about the 28. A good return there, 17 yards. And now back out comes the offense. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Throwing, Mayfield. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 36 yards. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. More from Minneapolis after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. They run with Logan, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now Mayfield. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. As they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll push the lead up to 17. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up, get the defense to react to other people.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. And down he'll go at the 25. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number one. This is taken at the 23. So possession goes over here on the punt. Now this offense about ready to take over again. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there?
It's caught inside the 25. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Mayfield to throw it, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Kyle Van Noy. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This will be a 37-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So here they come, the road team now getting the football first to start this third quarter. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
From the gun, Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. He's got a man, complete. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Antonio Callaway, his first touchdown on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half.
And right now, these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They'll run it now out of the gun. He takes this for 3 to the 29. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Cousins. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Now this offense ready to head back out there.
And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now he'll be hit from behind, and he has landed on hard. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Brashad Perriman, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year. And this offense continues to pour it on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. On 2nd down, Cook. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. They run the counter with Cook. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
3rd and long for Cousins. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. A really nice catch, but bottom line, that should have gone for more yardage.
Give him a pass in the flat that allows him to get upfield. There's plenty of distance between him and all the defenders. Actually cost himself some yardage there. Yeah, they got the completion, but it could have been so much more.
Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Sheldon Richardson. Busting through to get him for a loss of 6. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman.
They've got his man complete. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Brashad Perriman taking it in. And this offense is running away with this one. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
2nd down, Cousins. And the pressure gets to him again. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
This is fielded at the 27. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time win right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone! 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 Gone!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
Gone! Gone!
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch. But
and it's caught. Touchdown. Rashad Perriman, 42 yards. And this offense continues to pour it on. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. We have played 3 quarters. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. First down. Here's Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Tackle made by Demarius Randall. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. The Vikings send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. This is taken at the 15. Landry, agile footwork. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Detroit!
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to wind up and air it out. And this is taken in at the 5. And he will take it in for the touchdown. A big play there. A touchdown on a kick return, and now one through the air. And this offense is running away with this one.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's at least...
She's on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times...
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Cousins now on second down. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Vikings are able to get a score back.
Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. And the pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over.
By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort, at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Xavier Rhodes, the cornerback, there in coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to float the... man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
Leopard! Leopard! No, Jack, Patriot! Patriot! 4 down, 4 down.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they went with the elusive, slippery guy. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And this offense continues to pour it on.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Throwing the slant pattern here complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
I think we can safely say that those types of players are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starting in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, the Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
He's going to air one out. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Following the interception, Cousins. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Here's Cousins, and he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw, Cousins. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
Well, these guys want to do something positive as this game approaches its end, but after giving up back-to-back sacks, it's really been more indicative of how the game has gone for them.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And they're set up in a golden position here right around the 10-yard line. From their own 2, Charles, they opted to throw it instead of run it. We saw the outcome.
And I think what a lot of teams count on is defenses to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to force a safety or force a turnover there. But if you've got a good defensive front, you just allow them to play the run and everyone else stays ready, and they were, and they picked that one off.
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. On the carry, it's Logan. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now the try here for the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Throwing is Cousins. They find some open field here. There he goes, left side. And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. We take a look at this defense heading out once again. They haven't played the best, but I guess it's not going to matter because their offense has been so good.
And they'll go in and shake their guys' hands and say, thanks a lot, big day. We'll try and tighten it down for the next ball game. But a lot of guys think this is kind of fun to be able to go up and down the field, almost like a basketball game where two teams full court press and score a whole lot of points. You may get beat, but sometimes you think, hey, that was a good day.
Well, they can still tighten it up here for one final stop. Make them feel good on the way out the door.
They'd love to show the defensive coordinator that they did have one good possession before this day is over.
He'll find Thielen work in the middle. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed them for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. Open man as Thielen is complete. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Now Cousins, and a pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. In there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. Wide open receiver complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They were grateful.